3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're missing one who's not coming. We have a quorum. Our quorum is 5. So I'd like to welcome you all to this meeting of the 26th of August, 2013. For the record, would everybody identify himself for the camera?
Zelka Kumucha, Executive Director.
Ken Stevens, member.
Carroll, member.
Herb Coles, member.
Jerry Brown, member.
John Kara Smith, member.
Tom Gillen.
Mike Shanley, attorney.
Gary Hamill, chairman, and we have 3 guests who will be introduced appropriately in just a few minutes after we start the meeting. Motion is in order to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Mr. Smith,
Second.
Mr. Gilman, does anyone have any question about any component of any item of the consent agenda?
I can clarify a few things. The accounts receivable that's before you, and the money that's there is as of July 31. I do have updates. We have done a lot better than stated. As of August, all those items, with the exception of one, are current. We collected all our funds, so we're up to date. We do have some items which at the following board meeting I'm going to ask you to write off. One is the city invoice that's about 3 years old. Some of these voters that we're trying
Could you
to...
hold up just a second, Zelko? I don't have accounts receivable. I'm gonna see if, okay, I don't have accounts receivable.
Take the whole packet.
Give the whole thing or don't get it?
Yeah, this packet isn't
We'll save the
complete.
defective one for Bill, or for
Dave.
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 That's pretty good for being late. For being
Okay.
delinquent.
That sounds fair, his out later.
Sorry
Thank you.
about that.
I do have one comment relative to the minutes. I realized this afternoon that I don't think we've seen the minutes of July 16, which was a brief meeting we had with three brief resolutions, one of which was to sign a contract to people who started the project today. So I didn't have time to talk to the secretary. We're missing a minute of a meeting that lasted 15 minutes. So we're missing July 16. They'll have to be introduced at the next meeting.
Right. But the only ones to be approved are the
Yes.
July 29th.
Any other questions about the consent agenda?
Basically,
The 59,000 for the county of Oswego on accounts
yeah,
payable.
59,000, that's a paving job
Okay.
that we put out here, and that we did, in fact, we paid that down as well.
Is that what we pay Mr. Broadwood's?
No, this is all out here.
Oh, okay.
Of course.
Crossing the railroad track.
Okay.
Yeah, it's nothing to do with the road, the marina approach and everything else. Road will show us up there.
Okay. That's good. Thank you.
Any other questions? All in favor of the consent agenda?
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous. Barring unanimous of those present. That brings us to the next item on the agenda, which is a presentation by 3GI Terminals. And I didn't say we, I said
We
I
what a bunch of old
geezers.
So that's what Hal's gonna
I think I said 100 years from now, they will be watching.
I love that.
I have no such aspiration as living another 100 years.
He says, so that's what hell's gonna be like. Sitting around
Yeah,
watching ourselves.
Oh, not too much even contemplating.
Turtle board
The
meeting.
eternal boy, that's right.
Yeah.
The eternal-
Never ends.
Okay, we're on, gentlemen. We're on. Motion's in order to resume our meeting.
So moved.
Second.
All right, Mr. Stevens and Mr. Brown. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It is unanimous. We are resuming our meeting. That brings us to item 3 on the agenda, reports. First one, Executive Director and Administrative Services report. This is Exhibit C.
Pretty sure. Yeah, sure about all of the stuff, just give me 1 second. Yes, we're there. All right, on the administrative services report, I think we full report last time, we report again. We were recipient of a grant, security grant, and $132,000, which will utilize to better secure the perimeter and also incorporate our operations directly into our spreadsheets, so we'll control the trucking in and out. And one of the things that we're contemplating is that the gate becomes a check-in, check-out. Right now, you are free to more or less go out of the facility without any challenge. Under the new system, you will be challenged, and
timestamp they do.
yes, you will be challenged, you'll be timestamped, and we will be inspecting vehicles randomly. I wonder why.
We're on TV, right?
Yes, we are on TV. No, we're on video.
Video.
Yes, that's the
It
same
covers
thing.
that.
All right, so then the other thing that we are recipients of the OSHA training awards. That's going rather well. Bill Scriber and George Nesbitt got trained by the forklifts manufacturers. We're going to be issuing licenses to our folks who operate it. They are going to be subject to an exam, both written and physical, going out there. As you know, we've had suffered some incidents of loss. We had some accidents out there, and this is a one sure way of administrating and controlling the situation. And Bill Scriber himself will be administering the exam. George Nesbitt will be doing the actual training of the folks. And you'll have to pass both sections, or you will not get a permit to work at the port. And that's something that's required by OSHA and by insurance companies. And right now it's unchecked, and we're left to some liability there. And
Maybe if they don't qualify for that particular, they
they
cannot work.
cannot operate the forklift.
Well, they cannot, but they still could work.
They
I
have to do something else.
Yeah, okay.
They have to,
I just thought you said
Other
they're out.
duties.
I thought you said they're out.
they'll have to do other duties. Yeah, no problem, thank you very much for reminding me. Behind it, you'll see the solar project. We are in the final stages. I believe the gentleman is coming tomorrow. We're still not in the midst of agreement. We hope to go to an agreement in a couple of weeks. Attached also is your production schedule. Our trip 8 wasn't our best barge. We were pretty bad. We had some bad experiences with the machinery out there. As you can see, our production dropped a little bit. Some more machinery is overheating. Toyota Motors is out there tonight, actually looking at their equipment. Apparently, we don't know how to drive the equipment, or the equipment has been supplied. So we are doing some tests out there. So the equipment is actually has machines on it, and then the circuit things to. We have two different types of machinery out there tonight, and we'll see which ones run school, which one runs. They're actually overheating, and basically what's happening is they're causing additional man hours upon them. They're raising our cost of operation versus lowering them. So
These are the new ones?
no, these are the existing ones, which is the same type of new ones. Same type. We're getting the same type. So before I told me, I recognize we executed a lease. However, if the machine doesn't fit the use, we can hire an attorney, we're gonna break the lease. And we don't want to be in a position of
They all overheating, or is there a pattern of ones that do?
only certain ones.
With a certain operator? Or is it?
They're looking at that today. They're looking at that tonight.
You rev those engines at high RPMs for hours, they're gonna overheat.
It's more of a brake issue. They're riding the brakes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Overtime.
Comes on camera, Joe.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Basically, we do have some, we had some surprise visits by U.S. Coast Guard. That went well. U.S. Border Patrol is continuing to cooperate with us. They're more integral to our operations. I have them reporting to Bill Scriber now, and there's a larger presence of them on the facility. We eventually envision down the road them working with us more hand in hand, to the point that they may actually take a large part of security over.
Are they going through at night, checking the building?
Yes. Yes, and, yes, they are. And the younger folks, they tend to be very aggressive. And if they find something, they'll go after it. And they're also, they're looking at our other facilities. One thing that's not on this piece of paper, we have started the construction project. You see rail out there, you see work being done on the intermodal site. And that's going at an accelerated pace.
Cutting trees today, cutting trees, clearing.
With minimum cutting trees, but yeah, we're impacting.
We're at my place.
Yes, I mean, and you'll see some of the attached articles, I mean, I've been quoted and the chairman's been quoted. The aluminum business is quite good, we're doing quite well. The agriculture season, I'm looking at the thermostat as well, I'm like,
You
yeah.
ought to have the HVAC check.
Yeah.
It shouldn't even be turned.
No, it's, you know, it's going back to 80
It's a
again.
kickback.
Yeah, it goes back to 80 again, yeah. It's energy saving.
It's working.
The agriculture had
Whose
now.
energy? I just felt it.
Yeah. The agricultural season premises to be one of the largest ones in the record. We were informed by Purdue they expect over 6 million bushels of soybeans, which is a world record. We're looking at, right now, we're being asked to quote exports. We're being asked to quote containers. One of the things we went down, we'll talk later on, is export of soybeans to South Asia. So it's quite positive.
How is our maintenance of the product? Is that improved?
It's improved. It still needs more buying. We Purdue's happier these days because Purdue's more involved.
That's good.
That's all this is to
Did
report.
you want to comment about that, or you want to wait? We want to wait till later?
Yeah, let's take a look.
We can wait till
Yeah,
later. Any other questions, any questions?
On the aluminum shipping, do we have to respond to the barges immediately? So we're compelled, in other words, if somebody came in at, say, 5 o'clock in the afternoon on Sunday, we couldn't wait until Monday morning at 8?
the clock stops.
Clock starts, what do they charge us?
It's a per day fee, it's a per tonnage fee. They penalize the shipper. And the shipping term will come after us.
So in other words, saving money with ILA
Yeah.
would be offset by,
That's something I'm working with our finance person. I want to look at the model, not that we are full force again, the folks up in the office. That I'm going to have our financial people model. We do get some reimbursement for weekend work.
we do,
Yeah, we do get a higher reimbursement level.
okay.
Right. But,
Because, I mean, it seems like if we were compelled to do it for them,
yes.
they would have to pick up part of it.
Right. But, you know, but one thing I'm gonna push for next year is there is no incentive for the labor to be faster or slower. You know, we're the ones that get hit, and that's something we gotta work out. Because, you know, there is no incentive for him, one way or the other. He can take 3 days out there.
Okay.
There's no consequences, there's no incentive. So, all they're looking at the short-term goal.
All right.
So would you suggest incentives for faster loading?
No, we gotta be careful about incentives. I mean, I suggest, the incentive that it's gotta be one of the authority making money versus losing money on a particular, I would never suggest speed, I would say, but, you know, but that would, we can
There's
discuss
ways to
it.
look at it.
It's also got to meet the union contract.
Right, yeah, and I would never do that, but at the same time, there's been some situations where we're not, management not pleased.
Which we're gonna discuss in executive session.
Yes.
Okay.
Any questions?
Incentive would be job security.
That's what I would think, but they don't think like that.
We'll talk about that executive. There's going to be substantial executive session. Any other question? All right, there is on the agenda somewhere. The chairman should do it on the agenda. What'd you do, throw it away on me?
I got mine right here, buddy.
Part of it's over there.
Oh, there it is.
Spread all over the place.
pass out these two documents. There's two different documents. One is packet one and the other is packet two. Packet one is going this way, packet two is going this way. All right.
See how that works out. It's better than the last
The
one.
last one.
You didn't do one on,
You're kind of embarrassed.
I was hoping you'd collate those all before you passed them
I
forward.
have higher expectations.
I was gonna
of you
suggest
guys
it,
than
but
I
I figured
did.
I'd start getting whacked in the back of the hand.
I think they almost walked off.
I was kind of laughing to myself.
Collate those, Mike, before you pass them this way.
I have higher confidence in you guys. I know you can work well.
Well, I'm suspect that we get to Terry.
no,
No, it's different. Oh, I'm sorry. See, I didn't know there was one.
I probably heard it back.
yeah.
Training course. Everybody should have two packets. One says packet number one, one says packet number two.
You give us a recess and we're too hard to retrain.
I know how that works. Okay.
Terry, you thought you didn't have to mark these,
I should have put everybody's name on them like I did the last time.
but color coded.
Color coded. At our last meeting, I passed out packets. You might have the first of tonight, but everybody else received the packet last time. And I indicated in that packet that there are 4 board members who need training. There may be some who would desire some additional or retraining, refreshment training. And so I stated I would find out what I can find out about the process of getting you guys trained, as is a mandatory issue for New York State. It's mandatory in the law, and the authority's budget office states it categorically in their website. Ken asked a couple of meetings ago what was the authority's budget office, and so I gave that information out last week, and he said, Mike, I'm sorry, we'll have to talk about that. The
Do they have a CVT program for state training? Just
They
like-
have a specific training. ABO, authority's budget office, has a list of slides. I think it's 51 PowerPoint, and whoever trains you is required to use those slides. And if you want to use anything in excess of those slides or in addition to those slides, that requires permission.
You can't go online and do it, you have to go with the
They have to send an instructor up here to do it? Or-
No,
or-
that's where
Oh,
we're
this is
going.
computer based, okay.
That's where we're going.
Got it.
I said I wanted to, I contacted you, see, and I got online first.
When did they see the wrath of Terry?
And
That's all right.
and it's listed online, your choices. So I have packets 1 and 2 will give you basically point-by-point interaction between me and the authority. So I want you to look at packet number 1. I'll go through this very quickly. I don't want to waste all your time. I'll highlight it and go through and read yourself. This is not the first letter I wrote. I got this in 2 packets. The first packet is centered around the City University of New York, Cooley, which historically has played a major role in the training of authorities' board members. Major role. The second packet, packet number 2, is communications with the authorities' budget office. Right. So the first letter I wrote was to them, but I'm going to just start with packet number 1.
Okay.
Right, and so this is a sequential list of the email. Each page is newer, but you have to start at the bottom of the page and go up. Okay? So the first one is a letter I sent to Dawn Picken. Dawn Picken is listed on the ABO website as the contact person to get training through this CUNY New York training program. And all the other board members who've had training went through the CUNY board training, right? So I wrote to Ms. Pickens, I said several board members need training. They are listed on the ABO website. It's listed as a contact person for ABO approved trainers. And I asked, are the training sessions that are available, like the one I had in Rochester? Would it be possible for you to provide training? would it be possible for a group of us to go somewhere where they could provide training? And I pointed out, you know, I was trying to be nice to the people you're inquiring to. I remembered well the training I received from Valerie Rutstein. I just went back, looked at my training information to find out who it was that actually trained. She was that person at the airport in Rochester in 1999, and I would like to replicate that valuable training for a new group of Oswego board members. So that was the first statement. All right?
That was 99.
99, isn't it amazing? So, Ms. Picken, who was listed on the ABO website as the contact person for training, said, Cooney no longer offers training, even though we're still listed as trainers, official trainers on the ABO website. And they said they may be able to provide us with a custom training at our location. She wondered how many board members are in need of this custom training. All right? And so that was number 2. Number 3, my response back to her, thanking her for her rapid reply. And I said we have at least 4 board members who need training, who have not yet received training, and there are likely other members who'd like to have a refresher course. And could give us an indicator of cost to us. She wrote back to me, the minimum number of people would need to be 18. And how many people would participate as well as, and how customized you would be. And a very rough figure, an estimate in the range of $8,500 training from Cooney.
For these
So,
class,
email number 4 is to,
PowerPoint slides.
is to,
At this point, Terry did not need the internet, he was shouting.
all right, email number 5 was to Zelko. No, I wrote back to her.
Poor lady.
Raise a
I wrote back to Zelko. I said, the only way this would work for us is to somehow get 18 or more people to participate. Perhaps we could manage that if we solicited some other places, like other authorities, there are lots of them around. Other others need board training, maybe we can offer hosting for board training for other people. And maybe the college would be interested in having some sort of training like that as a student activity.
Yeah, the county, I went to 2 of these. I went to one I didn't know I didn't have to go to the second one. County put it on, and that was a couple of years after we went.
Well,
They might have something going on we're not aware of.
so Zelko said basically, this is pretty expensive.
Most companies use a webinar for all the training. I mean, that's common now.
Yeah.
Well,
It's mandated.
that is available,
Yep.
but as you see, Don, right now we have board members who need training, could probably depend on a few others for a refresher course. As far as customized content is concerned, ABO requires their specific PowerPoint. You don't customize that very much. They require theirs. And additional content will need to be approved. They should, I said ABO should be promoting a variety of training methodologies on their website. That's what it appears. The only real choice ever looks like a webinar. And she has said, yes, at the moment, ABO only offers training in the webinar format.
The contact is Don Pickett.
And the contact is not, no, it's not.
No.
No. I'll get to that.
This guy's so bumper. It's incredible.
Frankly, I got really,
Government at its best.
I really got irritated by this.
You can
You'll
tell.
see. So, this is the first letter I wrote. But I wrote it to ABO. And I wrote it to David Kaidira, who was the director. He's been the director. He was the director before he became, he was reappointed as the director in the new ABO that was created in 2009 with the new legislation. So he now has much more authority. The authority's budget office has much more authority. And for example, you go back to see what I gave you last week, and you see just how much authority they have. I asked Director Kaidira, it's come to my attention that our 4 most recent appointees have not yet received the mandatory ABO training for board members. The members are Michael Carroll, Kurt Cook, Walter David Sturmhorn, and Kenneth Stevens. Do you maintain a list of approved trainers who could provide a live on-site training session? If so, would you please send that list to me? An alternative would be to inform me of the training sessions being offered, if you're aware of any being planned to be offered.
So you've been working on this since August 6th.
Yeah. I'm aware that there are occasionally offered webinars that could suffice as an alternative if necessary. Thank you very much for your assistance. I look forward to your response. And here, number 2 is his response. The only thing covered in came from somebody else, whom I learned about later. Emails in response to your August 6th letter regarding ABO member training. The ABO currently offers online webinar board member training. We'll be posting new dates on our website in the near future for September and going forward. If a group webinar training session is more convenient for the members, if it's more convenient for the members, that is, if they don't want to do something else, right? This will be more convenient. You may gather all of your board members into one conference room equipped with a computer, projector, and speakerphone, and they may be able to participate in the scheduled webinar session. We would require a list of attendees and their registration forms ahead of time to ensure that each participant would receive the proper attendance credit. Participants can register for training on the ABO webpage. As an alternative to webinar training, you may refer to the state-approved training list on our website. The state-approved training list on our website. Please be advised that state-approved trainers may charge for their service. I was really happy. She said, give me some directions. I wrote back after several hours. ABO staff member, I have tried everything I can figure out to gain access to a list of approved trainers, as mentioned below. For example, I tried your links below, tried to Google list of trainers, tried CUNY, SUNY, Albany, etc., and nothing worked. Where could I find a list of trainers from whom I could contact for a possible group training session? I want options for my board members. They're the ones who are going to tell me what they want to do. I'm not going to tell them what to do. Yes. She wrote back, we apologize for the inconvenience. We have updated our webpage to include the current information on the list. I couldn't find anything, so they updated the list. Okay. The link to our webpage is, as you see, and listed below. As we mentioned, those trainers do charge fees. You will need to contact the trainer directly to set up a session. If you would like to get a group of board members together, we can work with you to provide a free webinar training session for your board. The dates of upcoming webinar training session can be found here. Here's a list of approved trainers. Dawn Pickin. That's where I got Dawn Pickin's name. From whence I wrote the first letter of the last packet to Dawn Pickin. And Government Law Center, Mountain Law School. All right. I wrote this out. New email from Able about training. I will look at the list they sent. After I couldn't find anything. Really, could not find anything. Dear ABO management staff, thank you for your timely response and for updating your webpage vis-a-vis the most current information on the list of trainers. I contacted Dawn Pickin about ABO required training. She emailed back CUNY SPS no longer offers this training on a regular basis. She also said that they may be capable of, or able to provide us custom training at our location if we had enough members who needed training. She indicated the number would be at least 18 at the cost of $8,500. I responded to her that we may be able to organize a group fitting those parameters, but we could only provide half a dozen or so from the Portland City itself. I also indicated to her about the ABOPP presentation is mandatory, that any customization must be approved by ABO. I also talked with Julia Aversa, the Professional Development Center at Rockefeller College in SUNY Albany. She said they do not provide any such training there either. She suggested I talk with Jim Bonville for additional information next week. I have not called Jim Bonville yet. It appears, and I wrote it appears that your webpage needs to be updated further to suggest that all those who must receive mandatory training should forget about a list of approved trainers because in reality there is no such meaningful list. Moreover, it appears that only one way board members can be trained is via webinar program. That is limiting and may not be the most effective way to inculcate the audience with the seriousness of matters under discussion. Has ABO considered the J-code model of training the trainers to go back home and present the ABO approved program? At the Port of Oswego monthly board meeting next week, I will inquire about their training preferences and I will report to you about their views. Then I got a phone call from Sue Delahanty, representing ABO. Turns out Sue Delahanty told me that she's the one who does the webinar training. So I sent back to her after she called me, and she told me that they would be there, she would be the one doing training, and she'd be happy to provide the webinar training. I said, thank you for your assistance, I appreciate and applaud the efforts you are making to improve the quality of our public authorities government. I mean that, I meant that absolutely. I did, she told me to contact Scott Fine after they had updated the website. Scott Fine was in charge of the training through the Albany Law School. And I looked up Scott, I Googled Scott Fine, and he is an attorney in private practice with an Albany law firm. So she told me about Scott Fine. I told her I did find Scott's Fine name. She said, but Scott Fine's name is right there on the website. I said, okay, I did find Scott Fine's name on the ABO website on a form that I had printed off. I had printed off the same form only a week ago, and it was not on the form at that time. I presume it was included with your recent update. On the other hand, that inclusion was part of an application for trainer approval, making no mention of any provision for actual training by anyone from Albany Law School. I would argue that if Albany Law School would provide some training, then that also should be elucidated on your website. That form also suggests that it is an organization and not an individual. It's an approval form for an organization to be approved as an organization to send out trainers. And so I said, I will contact Scott Fine to discuss any training service provided by Albany Law School to the Port of City board members. Again, thank you very much for your communication. I will keep you informed. And then my last letter in the sequence is number 9, which was sent to Director Fine. It said you were listed on the ABO website as a Director of Public Learning Project. Sue Delahanty recommended that I contact you regarding the training of board members for the Port of City Authority. There are 4 members of the POA who are in need of mandatory training required and monitored by ABO. I'm aware that ABO provides webinars that satisfy that requirement. The ABO website, however, also suggests there's a list of approved trainers through Community School of Professional Studies and the Government Law Center in Albany, through the Albany Law School. I made a mistake there. Albany Law School is not SUNY Albany Law School. That's stuck in there, I made a mistake. I have contacted Don Pickin, Queenie, Julia Versus, SUNY Albany Training Center, PDP, Rockefeller College, and Sue Delahanty at ABO. Don Pickens indicated that they no longer provide training on a regular basis. Julia Versa stated likewise, and Sue Delahanty directed me to you. I would like to provide the newer members of the POA Board of Directors with a choice of a webinar or a more traditional classroom setting providing in person on site. Is it possible that you can tell me whether you could provide such an experience either on site in Oswego or as an alternative in Albany? I don't care whether we go there or they come here. If it's an alternative and you guys would prefer that, then we know that that's an alternative. On the other hand, is there truly a list of approved trainers, any of whom could be contacted for purposes of providing sessions of the required training as an ABO website suggests? If there is, could you provide me with a copy? I would very much like to discuss with you whether we can secure the service of training and at what cost. Would you please reply at your earliest convenience? I sent that letter out on the 21st. I have not received a response. The last 2 pages of this packet are the application for trainer approval page that I found with Scott Fine's name on it. And the one just before that is, excuse me, there are 2 of them. The first of the 2 shows the first page I printed out, application for training approval with no contact information whatsoever. And the second page was after she stated that they had upgraded the website, and that's where I found Scott Fine's name. But depending upon when you happen to look at the ABO website, you may be illuminated or not. But right now, we have 4 people who need training. Try to find out whether we can have a trainer come to us, which in my view is more effective. We know we can have a webinar, but that's impersonal, even though you're talking live, so Facebook, FaceTime. And so, but that's where I am. I've not heard from Scott Fine. I do not know if we can ever get a trainer here. Apparently, there is no one available except through Scott Fine. And if we can't get anybody here, we are stuck with a webinar, and then we need to go through the process of arranging to have one here. And if whether you want training or training and a refresher course, that's the only way we're gonna get it, if I can't get something from Scott Fine. Apparently, he's the only other person who's available in New York State who could provide himself or provide an associate who has been approved as part of their organization to provide this training. I can give you all a copy of the entire list of slides just by email. But you need to have it done by somebody at ABO, you need to have your name on the list, and you need to apply for either the webinar or you fill out forms appropriate to a live trainer when it is that you can find one. I'm really just looking for some direction from you. Do you want me to keep pushing for a live trainer, or just give up and say, even if your website is not illuminating enough to make sense to anybody, we'll try to use it to get a webinar training. If we can get it live.
Deadline this has to be done by?
Yeah, it's supposed to be within a year of your appointment, but as I said, I just discovered it was something that had been overlooked. Nobody reminded us that there were people who hadn't had training when I was looking at stuff for the handout that I gave out last week. I was just looking through the website and, oh God, these guys haven't had their training for all that.
My thought, it's more personal, I agree with you, but because it's a time thing, it's just checking the box that says you're certified to do it, why not just do a webinar and get it over with?
Well,
If you can
even
find
though,
out.
even though it's supposed to be a year, under the circumstances, I think we can probably argue that, look, we're trying, and we're not getting very far with you guys except your webinar. If you guys want a webinar, I don't have a problem with that.
Is a webinar interactive?
It is interactive, but, you're talking.
You can ask
It's
questions.
just physically something.
It's like FaceTime with your phone. You're talking to somebody, you can see the person,
Right.
but,
I'm not sure we can go to a county, we can go somewhere that they have
Yeah, we
a
can-
telecommute
we
system.
can't.
Well, most of these, you just call in, they give you an access code to a telephone number, log you on, and then we could be.
So the question is,
satellite
you can
station.
do it,
Put
you
it on
can,
speakerphone and.
you can do it individually.
Video.
Yeah, that's my point.
You don't have to be video, you just get the slides and you just get on a conference call and just get Reg on the telephone.
Well, what they will do on the webinar is they will
Proctor it.
they will look at them, they'll show you the slides, you'll see it.
Right.
But- That's like watching the television and getting somebody telling you what it is. And if you are an organized webinar group, all of you can do it at the same time, or you can do it by yourself. And you're a member of, I think, of like 12 people that can handle 12 or 15 at a time, and that's all. And you may not know anybody else who's on that, and so if you don't ask a question, even if you have a question, you may be not stimulated to ask that question. And to me, it's very personal for such a very serious thing. So I just wonder, you want to do the webinar?
Applaud you for your efforts, but I would
It
probably.
was like
try to
you
get
were a
it done.
straight man in a Three Stooges movie.
Well,
That's ridiculous.
I think I'm gonna carry this further and point out maybe some higher elected officials.
Teach
This is what you've got at ABO.
Teach classes
There are
that way.
requirements promulgated by New York State law, and this is not the most effective way. Look what J. Cole did. They have everybody to send somebody down, become a J. Cole trainer, get trained, come back and give the presentation.
I would prefer a classroom setting, but,
So would I.
yeah.
So would I. But if the general sense is,
I have a feeling the chair will keep some persistence if you added the junk now.
Spam.
I can write on that.
Applaud you for your efforts.
Well,
Yeah.
it's very important.
How much are we over the year? How much are we over
What the dates you find, I don't have it in my head, it's written down
Well,
somewhere.
August.
It's probably about a year.
the year? We're not that far.
I mean, how can they be very critical of us? when
Oh, no.
They've screwed it up so much.
At this point, the code doesn't look like, what is the other option, really? Who knows what this fine is?
If this guy Scott Fine says to me, it's just impossible, or it's $10,000, well, $10,000, that's ridiculous.
Attorneys, no, they
The question then comes, how much of the cost has come down there? We can go to Albany for a hell of a lot less than $10,000, I'll drive you down for nothing. This is really serious, as you will see later.
What's the requirement? It's mandated.
It's required, it's an absolute mandate. The ABO can direct the governor to remove you from office for failing to meet the state requirement. and that was also last week's document, last meeting's document. Anyway, that's where we are with these two packets. I'm interested in, this doesn't have to be an action taken by the board. But if you guys want to get the training by yourselves, that's fine. I'll just together. But if you want me to push a little bit further, see if I can get a trainer here reasonably, let's give it a couple of weeks.
Yeah, try that.
All right,
I'm out for a little bit, so to me, it'd be more convenient to do a webinar.
yeah, I
So I
understand.
can just do it and get
It
it
may be,
done.
it may be the case.
But that's just me. But if you do a class, then that's different.
And Jerry said he'd take a refresher course. Sure. I'm just going to myself get a refresher course. Because things have changed since 2009 when I took it. The 2009 new law took effect. With the new J-COPE stuff and additional requirements.
Oh, this is a lot about the trip, he's rather persistent and he was a couple of times hot.
Got on the phone and stuff. Oh, I was trying to be nice, and you don't get it there by screaming and yelling.
Well, it's always.
The message was there, I think.
No, I'm
But those
joking.
are completely
I'm joking, I'm
legitimate questions without being asked. I didn't say, listen, lady.
All right.
Anyway, that's it for my report. I have more to say in executive session.
What's the webinar time period? If you,
It's probably, I think it's a 3-hour session.
oh my God, can you break it up in pieces?
Well, it's 51 slides or 53 slides. And each one is really detailed.
kind of boring.
Oh, I see.
That's why it's much more boring on a webinar format than in live action. You can stop and, go and take a head break. And,
Yeah.
You can do that.
yeah, sure, but you're gonna miss 4 slides. Maybe more. All right.
I had.
Any other, oh yes, there's one other thing. If you didn't see this morning's newspaper, the Post Standard, the business section has got a terrific article about Mobelis.
Yeah.
It's terrific.
That's the trick.
Where's our port commercial?
Hey, you know what, I've been after the port commercial to my due diligence, and it's considered proprietary property. She was worried about it, me putting it on YouTube, and she was, they held on to it, and said, once we release it, we'll let you have it. Right now, they're evaluating it. So I'm gonna ask you.
You've seen it?
She'll show it to me when I'm over there, but she's afraid that I would do something with it.
It's got a photographic memory.
Yeah, she's afraid I posted on YouTube or something, that's what she's afraid of.
Yeah, I don't.
I mean,
Her job depends on him not doing that.
yeah, so she's like, but apparently came up pretty well with those magic sticks, whatever we were waving, so, you were waving, I wasn't asked to do it.
Good. Okay. Then I will pursue it further, I'll let you know. In fact, I will send you, no, you already have all this. I can send you an email with all this whole stuff.
No.
Just stated.
So let her know I found out.
All over it would be, we were sad, I don't care anymore.
You're giving this this
Ultimatum,
impression
yeah.
that you've got this ABO budget, there's a 40s budget office, with tremendous authority and responsibility. You've given a lot of encouragement to do the right thing. And then you find this merry-go-round where you can't get where you want to go. I think it speaks of a problem, that's all. Any other?
I'd like to ask one real quick question. Should there be any discussion right now in this particular meeting about 3GI and what their presentation was tonight? No?
We will discuss that.
Okay. Okay.
No, it will come up.
Yeah.
You will see. Mike and me?
I was making a phone call.
All right, I'm assuming Mike has no report. He usually makes a report in executive session. No old business as far as I'm aware, any old business, no new business tonight. Executive session. A motion is in order to move into executive session for the purpose of discussing personnel issues
That's the motion.
and property issues. The motion was made by Mr. Brown and Mr. Smith, and we've got maybe, Mr. Secretary. All in favor of moving to executive session?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
In your charge. In your charge. Nope, maybe not, you would have voted.
I'm sorry.
It is, whatever the next one is. 13, whatever. Turn it on. Motion's in order to resume the regular session.
So moved.
Second?
All in favor of resuming the regular session?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous by those voting. Any other items come before the body tonight?
We need a resolution to, executive director to go forward and spend 20 grand, right?
Motion, yes, the motion is in order to authorize the executive director to go forward and engage Moffett and Nickel in the project for the floating docks.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Carroll, Mr. Smith, is there any discussion of that item?
We gotta put in the 20 grand now, because we need authority to spend.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I thought that was in there, I thought it said to spend the $20,000. All right, that resolution would have to include that he would be authorized to spend the $20,000 as required to engage by Moffett and Nickel. You were correct that.
I got it. Might have to refine it a little bit, but
We'll work on it.
Yeah,
The
that's-
person who sponsored and the person who seconded are in favor of that?
Yes,
Is
sir.
everybody on this?
Yes.
Any
Okay.
other discussion? All in favor of that motion? Opposed? It's unanimous. Any other item comes before the body? Motion's in order to adjourn.
Come on, guys.
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
Mr. Carroll, Mr. Coates.
I refuse to adjourn.
All in
It's not even 9 o'clock yet.
All in
What are you guys,
favor?